Lord, you are faithful, your love never ends. You've proven to be an infallible friend. You're my protector, you cover my soul. Your mercy and grace, you unfold.
On the campus of the University of Texas. Welcome. My name is Richard Sinclair, and I'm the Dean of the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science here at UNT. TAMS and Duke Tip have a long relationship. The great majority of students at TAMS have been identified as gifted through Duke Tip, and we're always delighted to host these ceremonies because these gifted young people out here are so important to us, and I'm relatively sure I will see some of these young folks again when they decide maybe to attend TAMS later on. So we're just delighted to welcome you here, proud parents and awardees. We're just as happy as can be to see you here. At this time, I'd like to introduce our platform party. On my immediate left, Dr. Donna Fleming, who is the Associate Dean at TAMS and Director of Academic Programs. And please hold your applause till all have been introduced. Our student speaker, Ms. Gladys Ogeto, who's a rising senior at TAMS, and Ms. Angelique Baker from the Duke Talent Identification Program. Please join me in welcoming our platform. At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Fleming to come forward to introduce our student speaker.
Thank you. Well, it's my privilege to tell you a little bit about our student speaker today. Because like all of you, Gladys Ogeto was identified through the Duke Tip program. She was in the 7th grade. She spent her first 2 years of high school at James Bowie High School in Arlington. And she was ranked academically as #1 in her class. While at Bowie, Gladys decided to apply to the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science, the TAMS program, and she will be returning for her senior year. While at TAMS, Gladys has been involved in many student organizations and activities. She is a TAMS ambassador and helps with all the interview and preview days. She is in the Hope Volunteering Club and has volunteered at the library, a pediatrics clinic, and has tutored young children after school. She is a student council club executive, a photographer for the Ion newspaper, and has played intramural sports including basketball and beach and indoor volleyball. She's participated in research in the field of neuroscience and was a lab assistant in a cardiorespiratory and developmental physiology lab. Outside of her TAMS activities, Gladys is a regular volunteer at the Arlington Teen Court and Arlington Public Library. She is also active in the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization. She's a recipient of the Optimist Club of Arlington Outstanding Student Award, the Rotary Club of Arlington Certificate of Merit Award, the Christine Barnett Bear Award, and the Arlington Teen Court Certificate of Appreciation. Gladys enjoys taking part in community service, reading, going to church, and spending time with her family. Her future plans include attending medical school to become a physician. Please welcome our student speaker, Gladys Ogeto.
Good afternoon, TAMS administration and staff, Duke Tip representative, parents, friends, and students. I feel honored and privileged to have been invited to take part in the recognition of your high accomplishments as talented and gifted Duke Tip students. I would like to congratulate each and every one of you with the utmost praise. It is because of your accomplishments that we are here today. For some of you, the past 12 years of your life may have been challenging. For some, it may have been a piece of cake. Individually, you each hold a different past, but together, you share the characteristics of hardworking, gifted, talented, and determined students. Thus, we are able to take a few hours out of this day to celebrate in your honor. You should be very proud of this moment, and most importantly, you should thank your parents for their support. I know for sure that I wouldn't be where I am in life if my parents hadn't sacrificed their time and worked long hours to support me in all aspects of my life and education. I've seen my father working 2 jobs for 11 years straight without missing a day to go to work except for certain circumstances or unavoidable situations like today. And my mother constantly being a full-time mother for years. Our teachers should also be equally thanked for continually giving us knowledge that has played a big part in our learning. I want to tell you a story about a little girl who was born and grew up in a small village on the outskirts of Nairobi, Kenya. She lived in a small, windowless house with no electricity, no running water, and no fancy furniture. Her parents were poor and had to scramble for every bit of money to put food on the table for her and her siblings. There was no guarantee that the next meal she and her family would eat would suffice the hunger they faced daily. Given the circumstances, her future seemed hopeless, or so it seemed. Yet the story doesn't end here. This is only the beginning of how a young girl's determination, perseverance, and hard work became the backbone of her pursuit of a better life. Although her future seemed hopeless, her heart was full of bright hopes. Every time she'd hear the sound of a plane in the sky, she'd run outside to see it as it passed through the clouds, hoping and praying that one day she'd be given the opportunity to be one of the many passengers sitting in the plane. That day finally arrived. In December of 1999, this young girl placed her first footsteps in America. Having been on 5 different airplanes, she was amazed, excited, and restless as any child could be. After getting settled in a new lifestyle and getting accustomed to her new home, she realized that this was the opportunity that she had prayed for. With God answering her prayer, she could not afford to let such a blessing pass by. This young girl realized that she had only one way to help her achieve the future she so desired, and that was through her education. It would be the driving force behind her future and her gateway to success. Coming to such a realization, the young girl did what she could do best. She studied hard and worked even harder in school. I stand before you this very moment, humbled as I am, not as a young girl who had a hopeless future, but rather a 17-year-old student with bright hopes and a fulfilling future ahead. A few years ago, I was in the same position as you, as an identified Duke Tip student. I still remember the day I received the Duke Tip letter in the mail. When I read through the letter, the word talent stood out to me, and I began to think about what talent really meant. It dawned on me that it wasn't something one goes out and acquires easily, but a gift that an individual reveals without knowing it. As a 7th grader, I had revealed my talent, a talent that I was recognized for. And today you have revealed your talent, a talent which you are also being recognized and awarded for. As a Texas Academy and Math and Science student, I believe that this talent has brought me far in my academics and will take me even further. This past school year, I have learned that talent is a duty and a huge responsibility that you must act upon. As Benjamin Franklin once said, "Hide not your talents, they for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade?" It would take hard work, perseverance, focus, and dedication. As a TAM student, I must tell you that this duty will not be easy. You must maintain high personal discipline and high moral standards. There will be obstacles, downfalls, and challenges that you must face. But remember that success is not accomplished without sweat. At some point in your life, you may have heard or will hear the saying, "If at first you don't succeed, try again." I have learned that it doesn't mean beat yourself up and try the same old way again. It means to recognize your error and try another way until you learn to do it correctly. I remember my 8th grade history teacher would always tell my classmates and me, It is the extra mile that you take that will stand out, like adding sprinkles to a cupcake, or adding polish to a washed car to make it shine. He would always say, if you're asked to run a mile, run 2 miles instead. His words have remained with me, and in every opportunity given, I take that extra mile, because an extra mile in whatever you do will pay off when you reach the finish line. The modern age we live in today has brought with it temptations and distractions which you are aware of and must be sometimes avoided in order for us to succeed. There are times you may even have to deactivate your Facebook or Twitter. Trust me, I've done this more than once. Or tell your friends that you can't go hang out or watch a movie because you must study for an important test. However, the same modern society is accompanied with great opportunities, advanced technology, new scientific discoveries, and intelligent minds like ours. We have been provided with quality education to enable us to provide quality leadership in society. Some of us will become doctors, lawyers, politicians, engineers, teachers, scientists, or even presidents. This very moment is the starting point in the path that will lead you to a bright future. But it is up to you to take full action of your talents and gifts. You must set your goals early and have true determination to achieve the goals. In all your endeavors, you must remember where you have come from and where you are going. Society looks up to us and expects us to lend and utilize our knowledge and skills to improve the lives of those around us. Thank you, and above all, may God bless you all.
Thank you, Gladys. Gladys, at 16 years old, of course, was taking very rigorous college courses here at TAMS that were the courses that college majors in those areas take, and she mastered those very well. She has a very, very bright future. I do want to say that you'll be challenged to master engineering physics in the fall. Good luck. She